It was a big event. On July 4th, 1997, Sylvan Lake, Michigan celebrated its 50th anniversary as a city. There were fireworks, a parade, music, an ice cream social, plenty of games and rides, and of course a lot of people enjoying themselves and renewing friendships. But 50 years only covers a third of Sylvan Lake's history. In 1818, a small expedition explored the area near Pontiac for settlement. They discovered a chain of heavily wooded lakes. They named one Cass Lake after Michigan's governor and another Elizabeth Lake for his wife. But the most beautiful lake of all had two parts. They called it Timber Lake, later changed to Sylvan Lake. The land was surveyed and opened for settlement at a price of $2 per acre. Farms and orchards gradually sprouted around the lake. When the Detroit and Urban Railway ran a trolley line to Pontiac, it opened up the recreational possibilities of Sylvan Lake. In 1893, Merrill Mills built a summer hotel for $25,000 on the point of land dividing Sylvan Lake. It was the latest in fashionable summer resorts with grounds lighted by electricity. A plat of 1,300 residential lots branched out from the hotel. Special train excursions were offered from Detroit to see the lots. Unfortunately, neither the hotel nor the plat succeeded, and the hotel burned down in 1903. One good effect of this venture was the development of an electric rail line from Pontiac to Sylvan Lake. It later reached out past Cass and Orchard Lakes to Farmington. These electric trolleys offer the best way to get around Metro Detroit. At their height in 1912, one trolley combination carried 200 people to Sylvan Lake in a single trip. The line ran right down the center of Garland, which once was connected to Telegraph Road. It became a victim of the Great Depression in 1932, and the rails were removed for scrap metal during World War II. As Sylvan Lake's appeal grew, more summer cottages appeared along its shores, as well as a few permanent homes. Tower Beach was developed at the north end of the lake. It had this hot dog stand and other attractions. The Durfee family ran some of the concessions and were very active in Sylvan Lake. They enjoyed the lake's natural features and made good use of the trolley which Jim Durfee awaits here. The only grocery store for miles, run by the Reason family, was at Tower Beach. Later, this general store was built where Garland Road once joined Telegraph. It had 6 apartments and several owners, including the Vitisinski family. It was torn down with the widening of Telegraph Road. 1917 saw the creation of one of Sylvan Lake's most familiar landmarks, the Oakland County Boat Club, first built over the water. It later was moved back on the land as shown in this 1941 aerial view. There were 17 founders of the club, which today boasts 340 members. Powerboats dominated in the club. Starting in the 1920s, races were held regularly with these sleek wooden hull boats until World War II, when fuel was rationed. Sailboats took over the races during the war. After World War II, the club returned to its powerboat regattas. Among the famous regular visitors to these annual races was Governor G. Menon Williams. The boat club has always had a close relationship with the citizens of Sylvan Lake. 2 of the city's biggest annual events are the Junior Hydroplane races and the 4th of July fireworks put on by the club. Sylvan Lake opens up its private beaches and parks to make these area-wide events. One part of Sylvan Lake that comes as a surprise to many is James K. Street on the north side of the lake. It was caught by a line surveyors ran across, dividing up the lake. James K. was called Happy Home Road in the early 1900s and had a popular picnic grove. Another anomaly is Greer Street. It's south of Orchard Lake Road and serves as our connection to utility lines in West Bloomfield. It also gives us access to the excellent West Bloomfield Hike Bike Trail. In the 1920s, the Merrill Mills family deeded the old hotel site to the Detroit Free Press, who built a fresh air camp. Counselors ran the summer camp for underprivileged children from Detroit who came for 2-week stays. The Andrew Pepper family in Sylvan Lake has this remarkable panoramic photo of the area in the 1920s. It shows the fresh air camp, a dredge digging out the canal near the bridge, and the entire south shore of Sylvan Lake. This is what our South Shore looks like today. The fresh air camp lasted until the 50s, and the property was deeded to the city in 1962, where it became our community center. Another family whose roots go back 5 generations is the Feasy family. Their cottage on Pontiac Drive was hauled over the ice from Voorhees Road in 1918. This is a current view of the cottage. The lake level was lower in the 1920s when the Feasys posed with their ice boats and young Fred played his ukulele. Tate and Blanche Feasy entertained many groups at the fresh air camp in the 1940s. For Sylvan Lake's own students, this handsome cottage-style Whitfield school replaced a 2-room schoolhouse, followed by the current building, now up for sale. How many people can you recognize from this first grade class of 1946? Or the same class a year later? In 1920, the Woodlawn subdivision was created on the Sawyer farm. The 2 streets shown here are Lakeland and Woodland. Note the poplar trees, which had to be replaced with today's maple trees when sewers came in. Looking south from Woodland, you can see how empty West Bloomfield was in the 1940s. The road across the top is Middle Belt. Square Lake Road runs off it between Hammond Lake and Upper Long Lake. And there are still propane tanks where you see them below the railroad track. Sylvan Lake was incorporated as a village in 1921 and as a city in 1947. It has carried on business in this distinctive city hall since 1929. What is remarkable about Sylvan Lake is that in 100 years, it has never departed from being a lakeside residential community. Even though it's been engulfed by a large metropolis, it's never lost its character as a quiet haven with individually styled homes, free of noisy businesses, and with a park along most of its shoreline that gives residents equal access to the fun of the lake. It is indeed, as our slogan says, the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan.